Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, look at that. We've got some graphics and everything. Let me just move the camera over. Wrong way. It's a little bit. There we go. Hello. Welcome. Episode 2 of God knows how many of these we're going to do, but it is all about finding our footing. I posted a video doing a bit of a review of sorts for the game yesterday, discussing player performances, discussing Liam Delap and how well he's doing. Of course, we've got some bits to go through here. Yeah, it's so hot today. It is so hot today. So I thought at the very least, I'm gonna do the transfer daily. I am not gonna do the watch along tonight. The game is just not big. It's not big. It's not good. It's not a good enough game. It's so hot. The office gets so warm. And so I'll be live tomorrow for the games. But I'm not being funny. No one wants to watch River Plate versus Urawa or Red Diamonds on this channel. Let's be completely honest. With that said, like I say, I'm going to try and keep to doing the daily streams for Transfer Daily. Hopefully it grows over time. Yeah, don't blame me. Jesus Christ, I'm sweating like a pig already. Petrovic, Alfie Gilchrist, both leaving. It would seem Petrovic, as you can see on the screen, valued at around 30 million euros. It hasn't been disclosed what we are looking for with regards to Alfie Gilchrist. But it's to a lot of people, a lot of your proper Chelsea lot, your Mason Mount fan base, and your all that sort of stuff, that they will argue that he was never given the full shake of it. He was never really given a proper chance. Obviously a cult hero, cult favourite, fan favourite, whatever you want to call it. But it does seem as though his time has come to an end at Chelsea, all quite abruptly, it's got to be said. But it doesn't mean it's necessarily a failed attempt at a career from him. Let's be real. It's he's got interest. 7 or so teams have interest, albeit all of them are in the championship. He is obviously only 21 years old. Looking at his stats for the season, I mean, he's valued at about 8 million euros, which, let's be fair, it's not a lot of money. I feel like his stock ran out so quickly, did it not? Like you say, I feel like there was that phase where people were labeling him as the next John Terry, and I much like a lot of other people thought it was a little bit too much too soon. Obviously, I'm someone who is already jumping on the Liam Delap bandwagon of saying that he's our answers to all our prayers. There's a little bit of tongue-in-cheek in that. We all know how it might go. We all know how it might happen to finish up. For him, number 9 curse, striker, the two combined, it never really ends well. But that said, the amount of pressure that was put on Gilchrist from the start, not that he ever really failed, he just... there's obviously stuff in the background. There's stuff in the background that we didn't really see regarding Gilchrist that would suggest that he just isn't really made for it in terms of Premier League, Chelsea, whatever you want to call it. Best believe, obviously there'll be pure profit, but it's not going to be a lot. I just do not see us getting really that much for him. If we look at our players, does he even come up on here? Alfie Gilchrist, he is on £3,000 a week as a salary. Not bad at all. His His contract ends in June 2026. So next summer, this time next summer. So he's got a year left on his contract. Surely that's going to drop his value even more. I could honestly see him going for about 5 million, 4 million quid. So obviously the owners will see that as a profit. Nevertheless, whether people will be happy that that's what he's going for. I've seen people say, I saw a TikTok today about it saying that in his opinion, Joshua Achimpong isn't as good as Gilchrist, and that Gilchrist is better in this regard and he's better in this regard. I was just like, mate, you're sounding a little bit dodgy right now. I'm not gonna lie to you, son. Like you've got all the proper geezers behind Alfie Gilchrist. He's got that sort of that fire in him that we saw, and anyone would playing for Chelsea, 19, 20, 21 years old. You've got the bridge behind you. You're going to be putting in some absolute banger tackles, like absolutely sliding in, and just swiping at people left, right, and centre, booting the ball away, mental celebrations, all that. The kid was living the dream. But let's not go crazy now and try and say that he's better or even as good as Joshua Achimpong. Joshua Achimpong has already showcased in as many games. I mean, okay, shall we look? Joshua Achimpong. How many games has he played so far? They're valued at about the same, 8 million euros. Achimpong is 8 million euros, and Gilchrist is 8 million euros as well. Achimpong, 2 years the younger. But if we look at the stats, all seasons, here we go. In the Premier League, 169 minutes, 4 appearances, 585 minutes in the Conference League. Played in the Premier League 2 as well. Alfie Gilchrist, you look at stats, all seasons, and then you go to the Premier League. How many minutes did he get in the Premier League? 202. 11 games. 11 games. So, realistically, we've seen less of Achimpong, and I think anyone with good vision will see. I'm not saying that Gilchrist is a bad player, but I am trying to point out that you can clearly tell that Achimpong is a significant level above in where his ceiling is. The owners, the back, whatever you think of them, is one thing, but they obviously see something in Achimpong that they don't see in Gilchrist, and as such, he is surplus to requirements. Someone else who is surplus to requirements, and we've already discussed somewhat already, I think everyone else has as well, is Georgi Petrovic, who for a brief moment, a very brief moment, was touted to be potentially Chelsea's number one coming into next season. During the old Mike Maignan phase, the situation, we were met with obviously the ups and downs of all of that. Penders was then meant to be our number one. That's not looking likely. We're now looking at Robert Sanchez being our number one. Jorgensen is our number 2 again. And Penders is our number 3. Again, I don't know necessarily if Enzo Maresca has confirmed or not that that is purely talking specifically about the Club World Cup or not. However, I wouldn't be surprised. We're not actively looking at goalkeepers right now. Obviously, you know, Petrovic, I assume, was one of the players who would have thought that he was coming along for the Club World Cup, along with Renato Vega and a few others as well. Who, you know, if you were on loan, apart from Andre Santos, you weren't coming to the Club World Cup. and the whole sort of see you later situation regarding Petrovic is trying to, it's sort of sped up very, very fast, very, very quickly. And as such, a 30 million, I know the title of the video says 25, but a 30 million pounds, 30 million euro valuation has been agreed between Chelsea and Petrovic. Both the club and the players both happy with the valuation, and any team that comes and shows interest, obviously, we, as long as the valuation is met, both player and the club are happy. At the same time, Strasbourg, the team that he's been on loan prior to coming back to Chelsea briefly, have shown interest, although it's believed that Petrovic isn't interested necessarily in committing to them, and is more so looking to explore other options at the same time. Luke saying, how did we go from close to getting Magnan to then having Petrovic stay and fight for number one because we're supposedly happy with the four we've got, to then him getting sold? It's a good question. So yeah, essentially what is being said is, we are now happy with the three goalkeepers that we have for next season in Robert Sanchez, Philip Jorgensen, and Penders, despite the fact we were very clearly trying to go for Mike Maignan, and like you say, Petrovic was touted to be our next number one even before the season had ended, because of how well Petrovic did in Liga at Strasbourg last season, alongside obviously Andre Santos, who had a very good season himself. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. And what we're always being told one thing this and one thing that, and then they all come out in their droves, these publications and these Twitter pages, X pages, whatever you want to call it, saying that, you know, that they've got the brief. As soon as the brief comes out, you know, it's you know who's reporting that realistically. You know it's not these reporters getting the scoop, or they are, but you know where the scoop has come from. It's come from the horse's mouth, and that is the club. And they don't even try and hide it. They don't even try and hide it at all. They look like idiots a lot of the time, let's be honest. And the message they're giving out is, we trust in Robert Sanchez and Jorgensen and Penders for next season, but we'll also try and sign another goalkeeper elsewhere, just in case. You never know. But in reality, we all know what it means is, shit, we need a better goalkeeper because the ones we have just aren't cutting it these days. So that's him gone. It's the same for Gilchrist, Petrovic, both gone. There's a host of other names. There are a host of other names that I will be interested to see when they go, because we need to get some of these names off the salary list. Raheem Sterling, Christopher Nkunku, Chilwell, Sancho's obviously gone. We've got Badiashile, who I think will probably be staying next season, realistically. Dewsbury Hall, I wouldn't be upset. I wouldn't be adverse to the idea of him staying next season, maybe a loan. I think I'd rather keep a hold of him for a little bit longer, but if he goes, he goes. I can't really blame him if he wants to go. But I could easily see him wanting to stay. Kepa has been linked with Arsenal. João Felix needs to go. Don't know what's happening with Carney Chukwuemeka. We've also got Axel Disasi. We've got obviously Petrovic. We've got there's a whole load of players that just we've got a lot of players that we need to get rid of. Wesley Fofana is another one for me that I've said would be on my sell list. That isn't going to happen. Purely because they want it to work, purely because he's on the third highest salary, and also because he's on 200 grand a week with an expiration date of June 30th, 2029. So he's got a long way to go. I wouldn't necessarily say it's wishful thinking, me saying that Fofana goes, but listen, if it works out, I'll be happy. I just think I've seen enough. You know, the injury concerns are so bad that I've seen enough. I really have seen enough. What's happening to Datra, Fofana and Broja? Strasbourg loans? It does seem like anyone that goes on loan from Chelsea, it's off to Strasbourg you go. I saw a thing today where it was talking about Vitesse or Vitesse, whatever they were called, where Mount went there, Musonda, Solanke, we had Jamal Blackman went there. Loads of players, loads of Chelsea talent over the years have gone to Vitesse, and now it's just Strasbourg the whole time. That's it. That's simply, well and truly how it is. If you're not good enough just yet, chances are Strasbourg are going to come. They're going to come sniffing about. Before we get into the last two parts of this stream, of this video, however you're watching this, please do like the video, subscribe, hit the bell notification to be notified of any future content on the channel. Again, I'll be doing this every single day. I don't know how tiring this is going to become because the news needs to start coming out thick and fast. But with that said, the final two bits I wanted to talk about, and we'll go through some comments as well, because I know that you guys have some questions and stuff you want to talk about. Paul says, do you think that there is a chance that we go back in for Maignan this window? I think you can never say never. I genuinely think that you can never say never when it comes to Chelsea. Gittens, who I'm about to talk about, is now the priority target. Obviously, we were involved with him prior to the closing of the first window in this summer transfer window. He himself has, for the time being, closed off and sort of like disabled talking to any other clubs to honour the agreement he has with Chelsea. Now, with Mike Maignan, you would argue surely the agreement that was in place between the player and the club, which there definitely was, because all it was coming down to was the actual fee, right? The player wanted to come. Mike Maignan wanted to come to Chelsea. But from all we knew, from the reports that we were told, he wanted to come to the club. Same with Gittens. Now, whether you want Gittens is one thing. Whether you want Maignan is another thing. You should realistically want the latter. But it would be stupid, in answer to your question, Paul, it would be stupid for Chelsea not to go in once again. Now, whether the reports about Sanchez being like, if someone comes for you, we might be interested in accepting. I just think that realistically speaking, we need to secure a goalkeeper before selling Sanchez, because say what you want about him, criticize him all you want, he is the best we've got, unfortunately, at the moment. Not including Petrovic is gone, Penders is too young. Fucking how old is he? Penders. Does anyone know how old Penders is? Penders. I can't see where it is, but he is 19 years old, for the love of God. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can throw belief at a player. You can throw trust in a player, but that's a lot of pressure on a player like that, of that age. 21 appearances for Genk in the last 3 years. 21 appearances in the league last season. You know, it's hardly a first team player. At the same time, like I say, with regards to Maignan, I would say that we need to guarantee that we have him signed before we even remotely think about selling Sanchez. Because let's be clear, that fee is going to go up. If we've sold Sanchez, and it doesn't matter if it's Maignan or if it's Coble or if it's Costa, whoever, if we've sold our number one goalkeeper, or they know that we're going to sell our number one goalkeeper at the moment in Sanchez, that fee for the goalkeeper to replace him is going to go up out through the fucking roof. So we need to be strategic with what we're doing here. And I know that Maignan has only got 6 months left on his contract, but at the same time, teams like Milan are going to say, fuck off. Either pay us or don't. We'll take the loss. but we're going to try and get as much money out of you as possible right now. And I saw a lot of people saying that Milan should be ashamed of themselves and they should realistically just give us the player for the fee that we're going, because they're not going to get that. Do you not understand? A team like that, they don't give a fuck. It's bragging rights with something like that. They're not just going to bend over at the beckoning call of Chelsea Football Club. So I completely understand. And like Reese has just said, other teams now they smell blood. They smell an opportunity. And they smell that Maignan is available. They know the price to come in at because Chelsea weren't willing to pay it. So, fucking, I don't know, United or whoever can just come and be like, yeah, I'll pay that. Yeah. £4 million. They'll happily pay it. Speaking of which, moving on to GITTENS, not much in the way of news. We already covered it in the sense of the player wants to come to Chelsea. And as per Fabrizio Romano 3 hours ago, Jamie Gittens not opening doors to other clubs as he maintains the agreement on several years deal with Chelsea. Discussions with the club to remain ongoing. So it seems as though that this is inevitable at this point. And as Tom said in the comments on there, player wants the move. He's not in Borussia Dortmund's manager's plans. Personal terms agreed, and Dortmund surely succumb at some point. It's going to happen. And the fact alone is that he's been labelled now as our priority signing. So it's a matter of time. It's a matter of time. It's as simple as that. So if you don't like the idea of Gittens coming to Chelsea, if you don't like the idea of him as a player, if you don't like him necessarily as a talent, get used to it, son, because it's happening. It's happening. Lance, it's okay, mate. No worries. Luke saying, wouldn't be surprised if more clubs come in for Maignan. He wants to leave and is only worth £20 million. At the moment, any club in their right mind would be biting their hands off for him. It makes so much sense. A goalkeeper of his level, of his, highly regarded sort of like quality. He's a respected goalkeeper. £20 million is nothing. It's nothing, absolutely nothing in this market for any player of any position whatsoever. And a good goalkeeper, fuck me, I'm sweating like an absolute pig. Any team would be lucky to sign a player of his level, of his quality, for £20 million. It's ridiculous. Nexus saying, hopefully they go back in seriously once we get the funds from Petrovic, but who knows with these lot? You never do. You never do. So predictably unpredictable at the same time. A lot of things that they do predictable, a lot of things they do unpredictable. But all together, you wrap it all into one little present. The Chelsea board, the sporting directors, predictably unpredictable. It's the way Chelsea have been for quite some time now, unfortunately. And I think a lot of other teams' sporting directors will look at the way we function, the way we move, and they're just like, these fucking guys haven't got a Scooby what they're doing. We can rinse them for all they're worth. And they see them coming. They're like a bunch of mugs who like on a Black Friday deal. They see you coming. They rise the price up 1 week, lower it down the week before, and you get what I'm saying with like the prices on Amazon where they just fucking lie. They rise the price. They raise the price really, really fucking high 1 week, and then for Black Friday they lower it down to make it appear as though the deal is worth it. Obviously not like relevant in this situation, but it's the kind of mentality that our sporting directors have. It's just like they're so easy to manipulate into doing what they want to do. And they don't see a good deal when it's right there in the fucking, like you're staring them in the fucking flesh, right in the face, Unbelievable. But look how many players Milan got from Chelsea on a good deal. Yeah, a lot of people started saying that Milan should be doing this for us because we've helped you in the past. We've done this for you. Yeah, Pulisic, yeah, Loftus-Cheek, you've had this, that, and everything else. I don't think they owe us anything. I really don't think they owe us anything. But, you know, typical Italian club, they can lowball us, but they don't like it themselves. This is not me back in the... Yeah, I understand the frustrations, but if they don't want to do it, they don't want to do it, you know? Lastly, I'll leave you with this, is that obviously the bit at the bottom there, Chelsea have ended all interest in Nico Williams, now obviously putting all of our interest into GITTENS and maybe even Malik Fofana, who we spoke briefly about yesterday, but we've now ended our interest in Nico Williams, who is now set to join Barcelona for around 12 million euros. Absolutely outrageous. Absolutely outrageous pricing. If you go on his profile, what's he worth? About 70 million euros. 70 million euros. 22 years old. Highly regarded. Rudy, I'm not doing a watch along today, mate. It's far too fucking hot, and the game is just a bag of bones. So, unfortunately, no stream tonight, but I will be back tomorrow for more Transfer Daily and for, I think it's the Real Madrid game. Let me check. Oh. But yeah, it's just ridiculous. It's, yeah, Real Madrid versus Al Hilal. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. Nico Williams, it's just, again, Barcelona can get him for 12 million fucking euros. What the hell could we have signed him for? I don't get, like, surely it's worth buying him just for the sake of it if he's on that much. Like, what's his, this is the issue. Capology, what is he? Athletic Club or Bilbao? Nico Williams. Nico Williams. Oh, Jesus Christ. Nico Williams is on 200 fucking thousand euros already. Jesus. Unreal. So, yeah. When he goes to Barcelona, you can bet your bottom bippy he's going to be on a lot of money there. Barcelona, what's their highest wages at the moment? Because they had loads of issues lately, didn't they? Do you remember when they were nearly going under? And now you look at their salaries. Robert Lewandowski, 640,000 euros a week. Frankie de Jong, 365,000 euros a week. Lamine Yamal, 17 years old, got the world at his feet already on 320,000 euros a week. Rafinha, remember we were linked with him at one point. Unbelievable. 280,000. Ansu Fati, not even good enough to... Where the fuck was he playing at? Ansu Fati. Was it Brighton? He's now linked with Monaco. Ansu Fati wasn't even good enough to stay at Brighton. And he is on 268,000 euros. Unbelievable. Like, their wage bracket, their wage bill is insane. Pedri, 240. Araujo, 240. Dani Olmo, 240. Ferran Torres, 192. Gavi, 180. Martinez, 174. Christensen is on 173. What the hell? It doesn't make any sense. Their average annual salary is 7 million. Total weekly payroll, 4.3 million, right? What ours has got to be decent, right? Like, it's got to be club Chelsea. Yeah, ours, no, that's revenue. Hang on. Capology. Chelsea salaries. Ours has got to be so much lower than that. 3.26 million ours is. Theirs is 4.3. I don't believe that. I don't believe that for a second. I mean, we've got a lot of like 150s, 160s. Obviously, Raheem Sterling's going to be raising that a little bit, but either way, we're not competing with Barcelona if they're going to be splashing the cash like that. He's easily, if he's already on 200,000 euros a week, he's easily going to go on to like 350,000 euros. But either way, we've ended our interest in him. And that is everything that has happened regarding Chelsea for today. I will be live tomorrow, 6 p.m. UK time, again, for Transfer Daily. Hopefully, some more news has come out by then. If you would be so kind as to let me know in the Discord for Transfer Dailies, if you see any news, then, let me know in the Discords. But until then, like the video, subscribe, hit the bell notification to be notified of any future content on the channel. As always, my name is Harry, up the Chelsea. I'm sweating my fucking life out my ass right now. See you later. See you tomorrow. No watch along tonight, but I'll be back tomorrow, hopefully, because at the moment it's 26 degrees. I haven't got air conditioning and I'm fucking sweating like fuck. I'll see you tomorrow. Love you lots. Bye-bye. Check out my video I posted.